up? What's up? We got another weekend of good racing events happening. Rookies showing up, rookies showing out, rookies making mistakes, vets looking bad. You all know what I'm talking about. I mean, we got a little bit to talk about now today. We might be a little bit different or a little bit short. Got some things going on, but we're going to get some conversation on it here. So I would advise you listen to me well, listen to me close. I say this all the time, then people don't get active. Listen, this is more about you than it is about me. So that means I want to hear your perspective and opinions. Of course, I'll have some dialogue going in. So how do you do that? This is how you do that. First of all, like, subscribe, follow the channel, even join the family member. But as in today, there are links in the description. There are links in the live chat. It is pinned. Click that link, come into the studio, submit a request to come on. I'll bring you on. We have a little conversation. I'll click you off and then bring somebody else on. So this is F1 Minute. This is where I share my platform with you. I want to hear your perspective, your opinions. I want to share your opinions with everybody else. I want to give you a little bit more than some quarterly keyboard action. I want to give you some verbal, visual action. Now, just because you come on doesn't mean you have to have your camera active if that's what you're scared about. I know a lot of rats and roaches don't like to be seen. So maybe you just have your camera off, your screen name pops up. You still get to come on verbally and say what you have to say, but keep it respectful because I will hang up on your ass. Pretty much. I'll hang up on you. So if anywhere it goes, we got a couple of topics. We're going to talk about one, Charles Leclerc, Ferrari. Ferrari looks to be doing better. Charles, unable to convert again. Unable to convert 4 times over, pole position in Baku, Azerbaijan, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Race wins, 0. Okay, and now this is not something that's new with Charles. This is something that we've seen before with Charles. So I'm kind of wondering how you all feel about that. Is it a concern? Are you worried? Are you a little bit more invested in the fact that Ferrari has improved throughout the last couple of races? Do you need to see a little bit more from Ferrari before you're totally on board? Where do you sit with Ferrari on that? That's what I would like to know. Where do you sit with Ferrari on the current situation? Are you completely in on it, or are you kind of like, I'm in between right now. Ferrari, Charles unable to convert, but still on podium. Ferrari looking better. Maybe they're stronger for next season. Maybe they are getting ready. Maybe the incoming of Lewis Hamilton will be just that nudge they need to get them over the hump. So that's what I want to know. That is what I want to know, how you feel about that. So let's get into that. Let me know what you got. Who's going to be up first? I don't know. Is YouTube tripping? Looks like YouTube is tripping. Looks like YouTube is tripping. Paul says, this is my fam. Be respectful, like and subscribe. Big shout out to Paul. Always active, always active. Paul's always active in here. Hopefully YouTube cooperates with us today. You know, they can be a pain in the ass. Big shout out to Paul. Always active with the family members, man. Completely love you, brother. Thank you very much. We got Obama coming on next. Says, pretend to be shocked. Oh, snap. Pretend to be shocked. What we got going on, man? What's up, Baraka, brother? What's up, bro?
What's up? How you been?
I'm all right, bro. How you been?
Been hanging.
Hanging in
Life
there?
as usual, yeah.
Life is usual. So what you thinking, man? What you mean pretend to be shocked, brother? What you mean by that?
I'll be real. This is peak Charles Leclerc or Chuck Leclerc in terms of getting a pole but can't convert. I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I've seen that script before.
Okay.
Especially after that, I'll say his stellar first year at Ferrari.
Okay.
There's times after that, from the pandemic on now, I've seen him win pole, but can't convert to a win. Let it either be his own mistakes,
Right.
typical Ferrari mistakes, or a healthy mixture of both.
Okay.
So me in saying is like, oh yeah, Charles had pole but couldn't convert to a win is like, sounds about right. Sounds it's as surprising as Lando's pole to win conversion rate. They're both abysmal.
Bro said it sounds about right.
It sounds about right. Their conversion to pole to win is not looking good compared to,
Right.
let's say, the obvious answers of Max and Lewis.
Right.
Since that's the comparison that every journalist in F1, every pundit in F1 compares them to. Is like, oh, you're great, but are you Max and Lewis great? And so far, not just Charles, but even Lando, They say it's like they're a tier below. They're a healthy tier below, and they may have to prove me otherwise. And by that, by consistently, not just one
Right.
race in which Charles gets pole and then converts that to a win. Even
Right.
with Lando, he has 2 wins. Good, be more consistent,
Right.
or and all that stuff. So I'm not really shocked. Again, like you said, 4 times again. I'm telling you, it's not looking good for the Monegasque Italian. The Monegasque adopted Italian is not looking good for him.
It isn't, bro. I agree with you, man. After some point in time, when do we say, I'm all about people's potential, people's ability, but Shaw is not a rookie. He's not a sophomore. He's not even a
Yeah.
junior. Like, bro's a senior at this point in time. And this seems like a constant thing with him. Just like always the bridesmaid, never the
Never the
bride.
bride.
Never the bride, bro. And I'm just not sold on him being any better than he is. I'm starting to think that this is his ceiling. Like, this is who he is. I don't know. Like, people have this notion that when Lewis comes in, he's going to be in a situation where he can learn from Lewis, and this is going to be what unlocks Charles to be this driver that everybody feels he could be. I just don't see it, brother. I'm not full. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just trying to say I wouldn't put money on it.
Yeah, with that, it's like people keep on saying, it's like, oh, I'm so excited for Charles because Lewis is in so he can learn. I hate hearing that. I really do. It's like people forget Charles had Seb, who's a 4-time world champion
Bro, that's a
for
good
two
point.
seasons.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So like, and yes, when Charles came to Ferrari, Seb was in the back half of his career, but even then, I Seb could still contribute a lot.
Right.
I was like, he already had a world champion as a teammate, and he done all right. He's done all right. I'm not gonna rewrite history and say, oh, he was
Right.
awful or he was exceptional. He was like done all right given the machinery Ferrari provided him after 2019.
Right.
Because everyone knows after 2019 how that actually after fuel flow gate, everyone knows how that Ferrari was. And Charles, bless his heart, also Seb, they've done what they could. And
Right.
everyone knows that pandemic season, Ferrari was the slowest Ferrari car when you had Haas and Alfa Romeo faster than you on a lot of tracks during the pandemic and going
the
into
customers were looking a lot better than even the works team.
Exactly.
Right.
So, and I want to believe, because I say it's like, Charles is like, I'm always the guy who's like, there's a future talent of players that are coming up,
Yes.
and they look promising.
They
Charles
do.
is one of them. Max is one of, well, Max has already surpassed Lando and Charles in terms of, because they're in that same age range.
Right. They're in that same class.
The only person in that class is Max, and he's proven it for the past like 3 straight years. Even now, even though with Red Bull's turn in form,
And actually,
Max
Max might even be a class in front of them, Con. I think they
Yeah.
separated by a few years, actually.
Yeah.
I think
No,
more of the class is Lando, Russell, and Charles. I think they are like by just.
I'm saying, I'm not saying in terms of F1 experience. I'm putting it like they're in that same age, same age bracket in terms of like they're all in their mid-20s now.
Got
I think
you.
Lando is the youngest out of that group. Max is the oldest by a few months. I think.
Got you.
George and Charles are slightly younger than Max,
Right.
but in that same age range. Yes, Max has a few years ahead of him.
Right.
So, but I'm saying in that age group, Max is, of course, on paper, he should and he has surpassed them.
Yes.
Now, I think Lando, Russell, and Charles are a tier below. Each of them have their own flaws in a way, in terms of like, George, he's so over eager on Saturday but can't really turn it in on Sunday. Lando is his own mixed bag. There's a race where he will perform well like he did. I think, was it last race?
Yeah.
What was he won last race.
It was last race, but then before that it was Oscar.
Yeah,
Oscar
it was
got
Oscar.
it.
Yeah. So he kind of like, there's a race where he does exceptionally well, and there's a race where he stinks it up. Same with Charles. There's a race in which he's like, okay, he's showing me something that I know that he can. And then there's some races where it's like, I don't know, again.
Yeah.
But again, it's I can't really explain it in terms of like again what you said, always the bride but never the always the bridesmaid but never the
Never the
bride.
bride. Man, okay, brother. That's how I feel too, man. I'm gonna bring you back in because I got some other questions that I know that we got to get to, brother. I know we got to get to it. You already know.
All
We was
right.
talking about you in the live stream yesterday, man. So
Oh
you
really? I
already
missed
know.
out
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah. You know, I bragged about you though. I told people like he legit. That's my bro though. He legit.
Yeah.
So
All
I'll bring
right.
you back in, bro.
Got you.
Hey, so there it is. Barack Obama telling the truth, the most objective Red Bull Max fan you gonna ever see in your life. And this is, I mean, we pretty much share the same sentiment about Charles. Maybe have some different blocks of information that we put in there, but it all adds up to we're not completely sure if Charles is gonna be this miraculous world champion that some people feel he has the potential to be. Joel Embiid tweeted that Oscar Piastri is a future world champion. That is what Joel Embiid tweeted. Now I'm not, Joel Embiid himself has some things he needs to get over because brother's been failing in a lot of places. He's been failing in a lot of places, so we gotta hear about that. But I gotta say, big shout out, big compliments. You gotta take your hats off to Williams. Williams is stepping it up. Oh my gosh. Double up on the points. 2 cars in points. Colapinto, Argentinian driver, doing some things out there. Kind of had me worried in free practice though. I was gonna get on his ass, but I didn't have enough time to get on here. But shortly after that, he proved that he might, have some more potential. There's some things coming in there. And all the rookies really made a lot of mistakes, but then they turned out to be pretty good on race day. I'm not even sure how I should be considering to let K-Mag come back. I'm just saying, Colapinto has the rest of the season. Why not give Ollie Berman the rest of the season? You're going to have him in that seat anyway. He already in 2 races seems to be a better opportunity, at least, an unsought opportunity than K-Mag. K-Mag, you know what you're getting. You already see what you're getting for the rest of the season. Is that really how you want to finish your season out? Or, because there's no excuses for K-Mag. But Colapinto, Williams is on the up. And I think James Viles is standing his ground and saying that Toto does not run this team. Williams is not the AlphaTauri of Red Bull. Williams is not the Red Bull Visa Cash App Junior team of Red Bull. Williams is Williams. Mercedes is Mercedes. The power unit is where we stop in some of the other components. We are a customer. We are not a farm team. James Viles did not accept the Schumacher situation. Put that to bed real quickly, so much so that Toto said, I really wish you wouldn't have said anything at all. James Viles is probably saying you shouldn't have said anything at all. Don't campaign for me to get what you don't want. You had a seat available. Why did you not put Schumacher in that seat, put Kimi Antonelli in reserve, let him get more F2 experience? You didn't do that. So why do you want me to take your bags with the holes in them while I'm trying to build the Williams back to where they once fallen from? The angel that fall from heaven is seeming to grow some feathers on these barren wings. 2 cars in points, and I said it in qualifying. If I see these 2 cars, that is a celebration. I got to ask you all, how are you feeling about Team Williams? How are you feeling about the moves, the decisions that James Viles is making? How are you feeling about Albon and Colapinto since they kicked Logan Sargent out just like he earned it? He earned it. I hate to see anybody lose a dream, but Logan Sargent, you pissed the bed, you bottled it up, and you wrecked the cost cap. So you had to go. But Colapinto, and for right now, Sainz is coming in next season. What kind of opportunity can Colapinto build for himself before the end of the season? Where will it even matter? Because I think pretty much every seat is taken. I think even Alpine is all the way taken, but I would hate to see him go to Alpine. Alpine are just like in turmoil, but I would like to know how you all feel about Williams right now. Are you buying Williams? Are you still not sold on Williams? Are you just saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to wait a little while and kind of see what they do all the way until the end of the season before I really start rooting for Williams? I'm rooting for Williams right now. What they've done thus far compared to where they've been the past few seasons or more, I think is a tremendous amount of progress. I really do. Don't forget, it wasn't too long ago we were talking about them in their plain Jane floor. Don't forget they were talking about Williams only fictional straight line speed that can't be realized in the Grand Prix. Don't forget Williams bringing updates, Logan Sargent wrecking them out, putting them against the cost cap wall. Don't forget Williams coming in with Logan Sargent again, giving him an opportunity. And still, we saw that Williams was progressing in spite of the demoting performance of Logan Sargent. And now Colapinto gets in that seat. Albon's in that seat. And they get 2 cars on merit in the points because even without Perez and Carlos crashing out, I think they still come in 9th and 10th. And to me, that is an accomplishment. So what do you say to that, good people? Anybody want to chime in on that? You got 30 seconds to call in and chime in on that, or we go to the next topic. And you know what? To be an easy night for me, I go take a shower, maybe eat me some pretzels, drink me a little drink. Drink is not liquor. It's not liquor at all. Paul says, glad to see Williams improve. Hope it's here to stay. Paul, I feel the same way, brother. But Rocker's coming in, says Williams in Baku is like the new Coke Oreo. Damn. The Coke Oreo, bro. What's up, bro?
Hey, listen. Before people say anything,
right.
what I mean by is like going into this weekend, they got Colapinto and all that, and it's like,
right.
I'm thinking it's like, okay, there's probably gonna be a write-off. Same with the new. Have you tried the new Coke Oreo, by the way?
No, I don't drink soda. So
it's zero sugar and all that. It's a Coke Zero mainly. So
okay,
yeah.
But it's like the Oreo cookie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And just like what Colapinto and Albon did today.
Okay.
Expectations were in the ground. I was not expecting anything.
Oh, okay.
Then after the checkered flag, and I'm looking at the table, and they're high up on the table. That's how I see them as.
Okay.
By the way, the new Oreo flavor, it's limited edition, so get it while it lasts. Surprisingly good.
Okay.
I took a sip and I sat back and was like, that's actually pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm following you. Okay.
That's what Williams were yesterday. It's like,
okay.
Face value. You're skeptical, not really too excited. After the race, after taste what they're cooking.
Okay.
And why they went with Colapinto, is like, that's pretty good.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try this. Just take a sip. I'm gonna have to try a sip now.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna overreact and say I was like, oh, Williams is back and all that. I'm managing my expectations and all that, but so far we're off to a good start.
All right. Especially since ejecting Logan Sargent. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like it was well overdue, or do you feel as if maybe James Vowles gave the correct amount of time before making this decision? Because I'm gonna tell you, I feel like it was overdue. I feel like
it was overdue.
Okay, I feel like
it was overdue.
Summertime before that. I think the summer was like the perfect. I really was feeling dropping him off in Miami and Uber his ass right back to the house, really. Yeah. But the summer, I felt like they should have went in the summer and came out the summer with Colapinto and just.
I was expecting them to drop him during the summer break.
Okay, me too.
But then when I see him going into the Dutch GP as the driver, it's like maybe they're giving him one more chance. And then again, for an album cover, it was looking pretty dope. Him getting out of that crashed Williams, but that incident was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Was the final nail in the coffin. It's like, yeah, the kid's done. He's probably gonna find a seat in an endurance team or an IndyCar team.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad his career is not over. He's still a young kid.
Yeah. And
maybe down the line, if he irons out his flaws, we've seen it as like a driver could come back in the F1. Possibly, like look at a lot. He quote unquote retired. True. Went to endurance and went to Baja, and then next thing you know, he was at Renault, and then
or maybe he's like Giovinazzi.
Maybe he is probably
which came back and tested and wrecked shit up and was out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so who knows?
Good, bro. Yeah, like I always say that just because they're not good at the most elite level doesn't mean they can't be better at a lower level. Like those that are not good in the NFL, they go to the CFL and ball out. or go to the AFL and ball out. But in NFL,
Yeah.
just couldn't cut it. You just the talent level up there is just it just far exceeded your ability.
And
So
I feel like that could be the case. Although I still stand by the point. I don't think IndyCar. I wouldn't consider them a quote unquote
I
lower
don't
level
consider them a lower level. True.
because I think as more of a even though they're both open wheel, I think they're different disciplines. It's like
Okay, I can go with that.
there's no power steering in IndyCar.
I can go with that.
Yeah, so I think maybe
So
he
maybe
could.
a different discipline. We'll say a different
Yeah,
discipline.
a
We won't say
different
a lower
discipline.
level.
Yeah,
But
a
right,
different
if
discipline.
he ends up in NASCAR, I mean that's lower level to me, brother. That ain't
As much as
NASCAR.
I love NASCAR, man.
It's a lower level,
It pains me. I enjoy, even though this past race, as a Denny Hamlin fan, well, mainly a Toyota fan in general,
Yeah,
I
because you
was.
know Yoda.
It was a rough Watkins Glens, man. It was a rough one, but
Damn, my brother said,
yeah,
damn. All right, man. So I'm gonna try this Coke Zero. We got Matt coming on. I'm gonna get him in, and then we'll bring you back for the next topic, brother. I appreciate you
got you.
participating. All right, Matt. We coming to you next, bro. You up? Matt says maybe too late. Matt, brother, man, what you got for me, bro?
What's going on, fam?
What's up, bro? So what you mean maybe too late, brother? Explain to the people what you mean by that.
Let's do some math. How
Okay,
much
shit. Let me get
is
my pen
one
up.
Formula One car cost? How many
Whew,
Formula One
good
cars
God
did
Almighty.
Logan Sargent cook up in the oven before they finally gave him the boot?
Ooh, yeah, bro. That was, he single-handedly was the most
Erased
expensive driver last night.
all their progress,
Yeah,
all the upgrades, all the new bits,
yeah.
all the new pieces.
Damn,
He destroyed it.
he
All of
did.
that money they could have went to a next year car, to a wind tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
to a extra chassis like they ran into that issue earlier this season, like updated computer systems like Jane Vowles keeps saying they're still in the Stone Age with.
Oof.
All that
Yeah,
shit that they was gonna buy this Christmas time got burnt up by Logan
burnt up.
Sargent now. Like,
Right,
yeah, you got some points this weekend. Cool. Amazing. That's
right.
great. You popping bottles. You need to put that bottle back because that is a laptop and a keyboard that y'all needed to buy for one of y'all developers for
Damn,
next year's seasons because your
damn,
boy cooked it on his album cover.
damn,
So I
damn.
get the celebration, two cars and points. That's good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Don't be popping champagne bottles because it
Nah,
just
man, they
look
gotta
it to
pop that,
me.
man. They gotta pop that, man. They got rid of Logan. It's a new era, man. They gotta at least pop one. At least let it be the Welch's grape champagne bottle, man. At least when you made the Welch's, give me that Welch's, brother.
Give it. I give you the Welch's.
All right, well, it's
I
like
give
two
you the,
ninety nine.
I
It's
give you
like
the
$2.99
Welch's.
at
It's
Kroger.
like
You know what I'm
$2
saying?
a butt.
Right,
Yeah, I give you the.
right. Okay,
But
okay.
it was. I felt like it was too. It was it
So you felt like for
good.
sure they got rid of Logan way too late. They
Oh
waited
yeah.
too late for that one.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. And I was all for giving him his chance. I really
I
was.
agree.
If we remember when I was it was like give him a little time.
Give
He
him a little
just got
time.
here.
You
He
did. You did.
no.
He said no. It was over way too late.
Coming into this season after the first couple of races,
Mm-hmm.
it just you not it.
Mm.
He won't it. It is what it is. And you could normally you can tell by how like a driver carried himself, like how they talk in the
Right.
after
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
portions
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
say what's going on. Bro, you won't giving me what was actually happening, what was wrong, what went wrong, what we can do better. You won't like you was just
Mm.
distraught, which I
Got
get.
you. So it's kind of like one of them things. If you can't tell me what's wrong, how we supposed to fix it? You just gonna
Exactly.
got you.
Just like a relationship. If
Right,
you don't tell me what's wrong, how the hell am I supposed to fix it?
right. I get you on that. So let me ask you this: Williams, Colapinto's in there now. Sainz is coming next season.
Mm.
How did you feel about that now? So are you on with Sainz being there, or are you feeling like maybe because it's almost a similar situation as Atlanta Falcons, right? Atlanta Falcons went out here wasted, got all this money to bring in Kirk Cousins. Then you draft Penix in the first fucking round. You draft Penix in the first round, and you spend all this money on damn Kirk Cousins, And you see how things went this past weekend. You feel me? So is it kind of the situation where maybe because you talking about money? Remember, you talking about money. Although driver contracts are different, money out of the team is money. Are you feeling maybe y'all could have kind of saved that bag, let Colapinto come on in and see what you really had and Sainz, because I don't feel like it was an urgency for Sainz. I feel like Sainz really didn't have nowhere to go if Williams didn't open up that door, bro. I feel like where was he gonna go? Aston Martin had already locked in with Alonso. You feel me? Ferrari was already locked in with Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes decided they was gonna go with Antonelli. I feel like they just looking for the next Max Verstappen big drive. They trying to find a new young talent that's gonna be out there, and I'm not sold on that. Alpine,
I'm not sold on that either.
I'm definitely not. We're gonna have a show on that coming up probably soon. We'll wait for the
I ain't gonna
season.
say nothing about it.
Yeah, Alpine, man, I just feel is in so much turmoil. They don't know their head from the asshole. They don't know where they're gonna be. They don't know if it's gonna be worse. I feel like Carlos would have been there. I feel like he would have been there. So how do you feel about? I feel like Williams been doing all the right things. Don't get me wrong, because they didn't take that. Because Toto tried to trick him with the Schumacher. Hey, take him.
Well,
I tried to trick him. They didn't go for it. So how you feel about that? Because I'm calling Pinto up.
So look, first let me touch on just ever so briefly.
Right.
I wouldn't have completely ruled Mick out, to be fair, because you're a product of your environment does go a long way. And so that environment that he was in over there at Haas,
I give
Gunther Steiner.
Yeah, fuck slime my dog.
Yeah, he fucks them. Yeah, no, I don't feel like that was the greatest.
Okay, but he been in Mercedes this whole time, so why Toto didn't bring him in? Why don't you give him a seat, Toto?
Because Toto just got broke up with, and he wants the hot new girl that he just met at the bar.
Right,
that got on the red pumps, and that's what he's trying to bring.
You seen I'ma Get You Sucker, man?
Nah.
You ever seen I'ma Get You Sucker?
Nah.
Man, go watch that movie. It's a chick in red. That's probably what would have happened to Toto had he got and put Schumacher in that car. This probably was going to be with Antonelli. Go watch I'ma Get You Sucker. Watch the scene at the bar with the chick in the red leather, and then watch what happened when they go back to the apartment. That's going to be Antonelli.
I'm dead. So, let me get Sainz.
Okay.
So Sainz, I feel very bad for Carlos. Like in the aspect of like, yes, they're doing the right things. James Bowles is getting them to go in the right direction. Yes. Okay. That's great. There's still a back marker team. There's still a back half of the grid team. True. Just because you grazing points just barely. Like, that's good for every little point, but look at where Carlos normally races. Carlos is normally in the top 5, 6, 7. He's not normally down there 9, 10, 15, 15th place. He don't be normally down there scraggling for points at the bottom. And he's a good quality driver. True. He's very smart, very in tune with the car strategy, tire management, knowing when he needs to push and when not. This past weekend was a little bit of a racing incident, in my opinion.
I can go with that.
But, I feel like he deserved a better seat than where he's at. Mercedes, they just don't want to ruffle George's feathers, which I don't understand why not, because he's a bald chicken. He doesn't have any feathers. He's not going to fly. He's not going any further than where he already is and has showed us that every time it comes to that moment, he is going to put it in the bin. And the only time he is going to benefit is when the front portion of the grid crash. And then he's just like, I don't know how I got here.
He gonna pick it up. He gonna collect it.
And he fucking...
He a garbage man. You saying he garbage time.
Bro.
Okay.
And then for him to come out and say that he's learned so much from Lewis, what you learned?
Oh, man. That was all...
What did you learn?
All cap. That was all cap. That was cap.
Like,
that was surely
he
cap.
Probably did, but it's like your execution on it is
it's horrible.
Terrible.
Right, it's horrible. Like you read the book, but everything
he read the back.
You read the
like
preface.
You remember in school when they would have you read for them tests,
right?
But you didn't read it, so you just read the first page and that little the summaries on it. That's what George
Right.
did.
He read the preface in the back.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel
Right.
like him going over to Mercedes wouldn't have been a bad look.
Right.
Kimmy, all this past hype over the past weekend with him, oh, he was faster than Lewis for a minute, bro. He weighs like a buck 10, like he weighs 2 pounds. Of course, he's gonna be up on a lot of people because he don't weigh nothing.
Right.
He don't weigh in that nothing in that car on low fuel.
He don't. He
Like, what
don't.
are we saying? Like, what do we say? I almost lost my mind at free practice. You cannot compare him to anybody off of this free practice when he has low fuel. He probably didn't eat the night before. He probably soaking wet a buck 10, to be honest. He probably like 90 pounds looking at him. Like, bruh, what are we talking about? We
This
talking
dude.
about practice? Where Allen
Talking about
Iverson at?
practice.
We
Allen
talking
Iverson
about
talking about
practice?
practice.
It was ridiculous.
It was
But
ridiculous, man. We got Kenny Bugs. I'm gonna get him in real quick, man. We're gonna bring you back, brother, man. Peace. Oh man, let's see. Kenny Bugs coming up. He finally got in. Kenny Bugs says F1. Kenny
I got tired of typing
Bugs.
stuff in there, man. Every time I type something, the stuff was changed, and it was because I must have tried like 20 times.
Hey, but you know what? You ain't no quitter.
No, it ain't in me.
So what you got, brother, man? What you got today?
Listen, James is smart. Okay,
Oh,
anybody
okay.
who thinks he's not, think again. He went in and did something that Capito, is that his name was?
Colapinto.
Capito? No.
Oh,
The man he put replace. Capito?
oh, Capit. I know who you talking about. Capitello.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't no
He went
captain. They called him Cap, but he
in,
wasn't no captain.
right. He went in there and did something that this man couldn't accomplish. He convinced the shareholders that, look, you have processes and equipment that need to be upgraded. Okay. And these exceed what F1 will allow you to do financially because it wasn't done in a time period like Aston Martin's was, where they could take full advantage and spend all the money before it
Oh,
became an issue or a part of the cap.
right,
Okay, but he still was able to convince them that, look, these are the changes that you need to make to move up in the grid. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to move up, and these are the ones that you need to do it in this order. Okay, being having a database where we can track our parts, and then some of the facilities need to be upgraded. Those were the two most
right,
important things.
right,
And he did it at a time where they had to make massive changes to the car. And even though he did all of that in the off season, they still didn't look anywhere near as bad as they did the year when whatchamacallit came from Mercedes and went over there. Who's now out of Formula One? He's working with biofuels. Little short English guy.
you talking
And
about a
you
driver?
remember the year when they couldn't even bring the car to the track and test it
Oh, god damn.
because they still didn't they
They
were still missing parts.
Martin Parts,
Remember
right?
that? Yeah. Okay. I mean, no, it wasn't Pat Fry because Pat Fry's there now. But anyway, he's convinced two very, very good and one extremely experienced drivers that we're on the right track and we can move up on the grid. We're just looking for committed drivers to buy into what we're doing. He was able to do that against a manufacturer, Audi, a manufacturer, and a team on the grid already, Alpine. And I think he chose not to go to Alpine mainly because he knew their engine program was going to be a problem.
True.
Okay. But with Audi, everybody thinks they've done something unique with their turbo system. And that's why they wanted to get rid of MGUH.
Mary Beanie says Patty Lowe.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, so it was Patty Lowe. Williams was able to poach him from Mercedes, and that next preseason it was so horrifying that they put him on gardening leave
Oh
again.
yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah, see
right.
that.
Sure did. Damn,
Okay,
you're
so
right.
to be able to make the changes that he's made, suffer through that first season, make the changes that he had to make, and convince a top tier driver that we're a better choice than Haas, Alpine, and Audi.
Oh, that was the big one.
Okay.
Right. Especially with that
Well, I
relationship
mean,
with his dad, with the whole
okay,
relationship
okay,
situation.
that's great. That's great. But okay, so
Not
look at
saying
how
it was
this
the better choice. I'm not saying it was the better choice. Not saying that. I'm just saying that was a big one. People thought was going to be like on his top of his list was going to be Audi because of his dad's relationship and everything, and it turned out not to be. I don't think.
Well, yeah, his dad's relationship with Audi did play a part because of Audi's success in hypercars and everything else that they've raced in. Okay, they've
Right.
shown that they can engineer as good as the best of them, just like Mercedes. Okay,
True.
the question is whether or not they can do it in a way where they can keep the corporate officers out of the way. Okay, and it seems like they finally did that with this with the new team principal that just came on garden leave. I think that was a smart move on their behalf.
Oh
I really
yeah.
do.
But no though.
Because now they can fix the mistakes that they didn't jump on, that they should have been jumping on the last 2 years.
Okay.
Okay, so they needed to bring better, and actually the things that Audi need to fix are the things that Ayu Kamatsu fixed, started fixing at Haas.
Haas. Got you.
Better communication between the locations and the different parts and bits of the team. Okay, so that you can have better coordination of parts and engineering and the direction that the team is going and all this and all of that. These are important things. These were things that even a big team like Aston Martin had been working on and still ended up showing problems on the grid because they didn't have the same correlation in the wind tunnel that they were getting out in the field.
That's true.
But this is the real big one. Okay.
Go ahead.
This shows you how important people are. McLaren showed that a team, actually McLaren and Aston Martin showed that a team can make a mid-season change and move up in the grid if they can solve some issues, right?
True.
With that mid-season change. Both teams have shown you can do that, right?
True.
One team has shown that you can screw it all up with some bad changes.
True.
Now we don't know if the changes they made are because Adrian Newey left, which we pretty much know that's part of it.
Right.
Or if most of it comes from the braking system, and now they're trying to reclaim some time and still making bad decisions because they don't have Adrian Newey.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, look, when it comes to engineering cars, the bottom line issue is you build up a career of knowledge of things that improve this thing or don't improve this thing. And on every aspect of the car, that plays a part in the balance of how it rides for the driver. You can't get all of that correlation in the wind tunnel.
Damn, facts, bro.
Some of it is just known, proven things that you've seen throughout your career, and that's what Adrian Newey has done.
Facts.
He starts with the chassis, goes to the suspension, then he goes to the floor and the diffuser, then you've got all the aero on top of that. And it all must link together.
True.
It's the bottom line issue.
So let me ask you something, Kenny B, before I let you go to the next one, because it came up, and this was a question that came up in Wolves Den. I don't think you weren't there. Wolves Den came up. Do you discredit any of Adrian Newey's legacy or GOATness in engineering and design due to the asymmetrical braking, him being part of that, or any of the other things he's been part of? Because I said I can understand, but I can't take that away from him because he's done so much. And I'm not, you know what they say, if you're not trying, if you're not kind of on the edge, you know, if you're not kind of on the edge of cheating, you ain't trying, right? So the engineering, the ingenuity of that thing was wonderful. Now, whether it fell in the regulations to be legal or not, cool, we can go there. But do you discredit Adrian Newey for any of those things of his engineering greatness?
Um, no, I don't, but I have questions about it.
Okay.
How long has he been doing this? He's been doing it for, apparently they've been doing this for some time. Okay?
Yeah.
For the longest, aerodynamically, they've been known as the fastest car aerodynamically. They just didn't have the right engine. Okay, so Vettel suffered the consequences when Renault wasn't on
Renault.
top the first year.
Smoke bombs.
And then when they tried the replacements for him, who failed, and well, actually, they brought Verstappen straight up. But then when Ricardo left, okay, every other driver that got in that car couldn't handle it. Okay, there had to be a reason why, and the bottom line issue is that could have played a part in why they were so good aerodynamically. And now trying to make up for it, the one person who could possibly do it is no longer there.
Hey.
And he is so sly and cunning. And he comes out when they ask him questions because he was there before the car started failing. And the minute he left, it went downhill, right?
Right. I showed the graph.
Right. So in the interviews, they ask him, do you think it had something to do with you leaving? He says, well, I don't know because I don't know what the problem is. I have no knowledge of it. He just totally walked away from it.
Right.
I was like, you sneaky.
Right.
You didn't have to address the braking issue by saying you don't know what caused their problems that they're having now because you don't have any. You stepped away ever since Japan. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Right.
All right.
I got you.
I ain't buying that one, but okay.
He said I ain't going for that one, but okay.
Nah. Oh, nah. But he's proven everywhere he's been, Williams, McLaren, Red Bull, that the knowledge that he picks up everywhere he's been along the way, whatever the time period was and what was going on in that time period, he has cataloged that stuff in his brain. It's like he can see the car's performance on his pad as he's drawing it, which means you can see it in your head. You can see what the car is doing and what the car is doing based on the knowledge that. And okay, we all played basketball, right?
Right, at some point in time, right.
Okay. Do you know what you did to learn how to start making your jumpers fall on a consistent base?
Yes.
You do. What was it?
The one thing I did wrong is I always shot shallow. I never really jumped, and I had to do more of an arch. So in order for me to get my jumpers to fall at a better percentage, because I wasn't great, is I had to get that jump off and that release, that arch. And I used to always, I had my hands closed. Right, the arch, and I had to spread my fingers more so I had more control over the ball. So that was my situation.
That gives you control. That doesn't give you arch. You have to recalculate it in your brain.
True. I had to do all of that. But yeah, I do remember what I had to do to improve my jumper. The formula?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That you used to recalculate the arch in your brain.
Man, bro, I ain't got no formula for you, right?
That's
I ain't
what I'm
got no
getting
formula
at.
for you. Got you.
Sometimes certain people get so used to calculating things in a way that the average person doesn't, that they just do it automatically in their head, in their subconscious.
Got you.
And that's what I mean, that Adrian Newey can see what's going on with the car and the arrow in his head and on his pad, because he's just built up all this knowledge. And then, okay, so who else knew that when they came out with this era of cars that they were going to have porpoising?
Nobody but him.
Nobody said a word about it.
Nobody
was prepared for it except him.
Right.
Because he worked in the area where they were using those skirts.
When they were using those there. Right.
And then the skirts would fall away, would grind away, and all of a sudden the car would try and hit the same turn at the same speed, crash into the wall. Okay? You just built up knowledge that you acquired back then, and you had an advantage over everyone else. And it took a long time for teams to catch up to you. Okay? Mercedes were so stubborn. They refused to understand just how important the rear diffuser area was to the floor, and how important the suspension was to the floor. That you had to substantially stiffen the suspension for the floor and come up with other ways to prevent porpoising without taking away too much feel from the driver. Okay, so what was the first thing they realized they had to do? They had to change the gearbox. They had to change the gearbox because they needed to clear up the space that the tie rods were using the suspension was using to connect to the transmission. Instead of connecting to the transmission on the bottom of the transmission where you're interfering with airflow, you had to change the connect to the top of the gearbox and open up and clean up your diffuser area. Okay, and then come up with a better suspension system built on that. These were things that Adrian knew day one.
Right.
So he totally changed the front and rear suspension to clean up the air coming in and clean up the air going out. Gave him an automatic advantage. And by stiffening up the ride, he didn't have the porpoising problems. What you get is drivers not having to make corrections in the turns, because that's where the speed is. Anytime a driver can eliminate or make at least as small as possible or as few as possible the number of corrections that he has to make in those turns,
Correct.
he's gonna be faster. Okay.
Correct.
And the bottom line issue is, Norris said it himself a couple of years ago. Yeah, Lewis is winning. He's supposed to win. He's in the fastest car. Okay, well, now you're in the fastest car.
Now you're in the fastest car. Right. What's
but
up?
you still make mistakes. Oh, okay. Well, before you, there was Max in the fastest car. Oh, now he can't handle a car that was the exact same car he was driving at the beginning of the year winning races with? You mean to tell me they don't know how to go back to the exact same parts that they had at the beginning of the year to bring the confidence back?
Boom. Because we've
driver.
seen teams do it. We've seen even lower teams do that. Right. Haas did it last season.
But then you've got Mercedes, who tried a floor out in, what was it, Hungary? Didn't like the way it was performing and took it off that Saturday, and they won. Right? With the floor from Silverstone. Okay. Then they tried to put it back. Oh no,
I think they came with
they held it off for a Spa, didn't they?
Yeah, they came with a revised version coming in the Spa or later on
No,
that race. No,
they
took that one off.
They kept it off in Spa because they
went back to another one. Then they brought it back at a later race revised.
Yeah, they kept the Silverstone floor for Spa, and then they brought it back for Monza. The bottom line issue is these floors are so sensitive. It doesn't take much for them to screw up your balance because you're increasing downforce. Are you changing the suspension to compensate for that extra downforce? If you're not making an engineering decision to make changes to the suspension, especially the rear suspension, then why are you trying to add more downforce? I could see you taking it in increments by adding little nicks and knacks and this and that in different little places that'll give you a half a tenth here, a half a tenth there. But anytime you make a concrete change to the floor, you're making a half second, a full second, a lap change to the floor. I mean, to the performance of the car. And that's the chance you're taking. It's such a huge risk that McLaren brought a floor, and they've got a new floor, and they won't put it on. They won't put it on because they're scared what happened to everybody else. What happened to them?
Like, damn it, we're going to go backwards. We ain't trying to do that shit, right?
They ain't trying to go backwards. Right. They got enough problems that they induced themselves.
Right. We already got enough shit we done inflicted on ourselves. We kind of find the sweet spot. Let's not do nothing too hasty right now.
Exactly.
Right.
So I don't know what Red Bull was thinking with the changes that they made and why they won't just go backwards. Completely backwards to where at least Max could handle the car But hey, look, I
That's
love
for
the
sure.
fact that they're losing the championship. I just need anybody but Max to win the drivers' championship. I need them to take that away from him,
Lando got
make
to
it
be more
hurt.
consistent, man. He got to be more consistent. He got to get up there. Kenny B, we about to bring DG Big Blue, bro. I'm glad you finally were able to get on, because I was looking like, damn, man. You got, it's like Matt. You know what I'm saying? Baraka, y'all got to come on through. We got DG Big Blue coming on next, brother, man. We about to give him a word. I appreciate you,
Cool.
Kenny B.
Peace.
Peace out, brother, man. DG Big Blue Navy. Hoorah. What's up,
Hoorah.
bro?
What up? What up?
What's up, man? I said, hey. I said, I'm
Got,
gonna give
got
my
the,
brother last word. What's going on,
got
bro?
the,
What's
yeah.
up? I see you sporting it.
Yeah. What we talking about?
Man, I tell you
I
what, I
just
tell
got
you
I
what,
just got in from work.
I tell you what, let me give you the last topic right here that we can go on, and then you can just go from there. Right now, I tell you what, let's talk about Max Perez. Max not performing. Perez seemed to outperform Max. Give me your take on what you think about Max now, because a lot of people, we can go into the whole Carlos and Perez thing, but I think that's pretty much slam shut. We kind of know that's going to be a racing incident. I'm cool with that. But a lot of people were shitting on Perez, rightfully so, was unable to adapt to a front end pointy car, which is the fastest way to drive. But now that car's not so pointy since asymmetric braking is gone. Now Max has been on podium and Perez outperformed him in a damn weekend. So either people oversold on Max, people was delusional on Max, or that just is what it is. Because if he's that great, he should be able to adapt to a degree. He should still be up there. And we also had the claims that Max would have done more where Lewis was failing in the last few
hmm
seasons if he was
hmm
in a car in the W13, 14, and 15. So what do you say to that, brother?
So let's call a spade a spade. They underestimate Carlos. I mean, correction, Sergio. All right. Go back to 2021. They brought him on board for a reason. He can drive. Right? He can drive. And then the way he supported his teammate during all the regulation change to put Red Bull in the position that they was in 2021, let's not cap, they changed the rules to support a high rate car. The rules were modified to give Red Bull closer competitiveness to Mercedes because that W11 was kicking their ass. Let's not cap.
And W12.
He came out and told you. He came out and told you the car is different from what Max is driving. And he's proven it time and time again.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense how I'm at the back and we got the same car. But yet, for 2 seasons in a row, 2021, I supported Max. 2022, I supported Max in the same car. Now all of a sudden it's 2024 and we're not performing the same. I won one race, can't keep up with the pack, and now I'm slow. Same things happened in Lewis. Let's call a spade a spade.
Right.
Dominating Friday, Saturday. Come free practice fucking 3, he's on the top of the charts. Come quali, where the hell's Lewis at?
You saying it's suspicious?
I don't wear a tinfoil hat, so
Right,
you
right,
know what I
right.
mean? But
It just
now
look funny.
you see how Sergio was able to outdrive and outperform Max this weekend on his
Yeah.
favorite circuit. Let's not get it twisted.
True.
He loves that circuit, right? He's been pretty good at that circuit. And Max has not. He's been terrible at that circuit from time. I mean, just go back to 2018 when him and
Yeah.
Danny
Him and
wrecked each other out.
Right, when they wrecked each other out. Right.
But I'm not going to say Max is a fraud.
Yeah. No.
He has just like everybody, right? You play within the rules that are handed to you. You playing in that rule book. You're the driver. There's nothing you can do. You ain't developing the car. You're not designing the car. You're not putting the systems in the car. And if
Right.
you are, then you need to be investigated, right?
Right.
If a driver is having any input other than what he's providing back to the technical team, or he's suggesting this or that, or he's doing some shady stuff like adding weights to the car, to the front and the back end,
Ballast.
come on, that is totally out of driving. But at that point, he's playing within the rules. But he's showing us his true colors. When he doesn't have something he likes, he doesn't have the setup that he wants. He cries, he complains, he whines. He's going back to the old mats. And we'll
Correct.
see the old mats when that 33 comes back on that car. Because he's no longer going to be
Ooh.
number one.
Ooh,
I,
brother
I, I
man.
believe that it's going to be between Charles and Lando for the driver championship, and McLaren is going to take the constructors this year.
Oh yeah, they already up. They
And Williams,
already up.
and Williams, like I said now for the last two years, Williams is going to come up, man. I think they're going to be that midfield team that everybody's going to be like, damn, that's a nice progress, nice come up.
All right, that's a bet, DG Big Blue Navy. I see you with the cap on, bro. You keep sporting that. Our most recent VIP family member in DG Big Blue. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, brother.
No
Appreciate it.
problem. I appreciate all y'all, man. So big shout out to the fam. Got everybody on. Kenny B and us will be back again next week. Like we say, Kenny B has told y'all several times, but Rock has told y'all several times, get active in the live chat, get active in the lives. This is like all for you all to be involved and have a good opportunity to have your voices heard, your comments heard, your perspective and your opinions heard. All right, so F1 Minute is the dopest show on the planet. Involves you in the content creation. We will be back talking about more Formula One. Hopefully Kenny B can get on earlier because I know y'all love hearing from him. I'm even going to try to see about Bryson participating in the F1 Minute. I got to talk to my brother first. He is busy in aeronautics, is busy doing that, so he tries to give us time when he can. And Mary Beanie, she's going to try to get on. I got to get with Nall to try to get her up. Maria Duncan got to try to get her on. Jeff, hopefully he can get on. We miss Jeff wearing all the different jerseys and shirts. We miss our comedic hour from Jeff. We know he can switch shirts with the best of them. But with that being said, this is another F1 Minute. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Wolfpack out. Peace.